Welcome back into Game 2 for the Fields of Blood tournament. Having lost the first game against Lisbon, I was now paired against an opponent who had also lost his first game, and it happened to be Dark Elves. And first of all, just want to say sorry guys, it didn't take really enough photos to make a very comprehensive battle report, but I'll go through the stuff that I do have. You can see me deployed here in a way that I ended up not very happy with, actually. Kind of deployed badly, and I'll explain what's wrong with the deployment you're looking at here. Particularly the unit of Dragon Princes on the left behind the forest, deployed on an angle so that the bolt thrower on the hill can't see them. But they don't really have anywhere handy to move to. They can either wheel around and engage the three infantry blocks, including the stubborn blackguard, or they can turn around and go over the hedge against the Dark Riders where the Hydra is. And there's other units in the way for them to sort of rush around the side, and there's too much repositioning needed, so I don't think I should have put them there. Archers are okay. The eagles behind the hill are great because they can fly over and march block the enemy and attack the bolt thrower. On the right hand side I've got Dragon Princes which can fit through the gap between the hill and the swamp over there, but still just generally not too happy about the way that you can see there's two characters in fact all four of my characters are in the unit with the white lines to protect them from the bolt thrower shooting first up. I didn't really want to get shot first turn and panicked off the board, even though he's only got one bolt thrower. He has got a Hydra and he has got a general on a cold one, and that big unit of cold ones in the middle of the table, just right between where his hands are. And if you look at the swamp in the top right of the screen, you can see an assassin in the swamp. The assassin isn't deployed there, he's just put it there because he's reminding me that he's got an assassin hidden in one of his three infantry blocks. So there's that to keep in mind. Next picture, we have a look at his army. It's pretty nicely painted. He's got two units of Dark Riders on the left-hand flank. He's got both characters who have joined the Bolt Thrower crew. The reason for that is that he's got the Ring of Hotek in his Blackguard, dun dun dun, which means that I have to pick some fairly non-offensive spells. I've gone for the Law of the Heavens to buff my own guys, since that'll be out of range of the ring. And I've taken Law of High Magic, so that it can cast things like Drain Magic and so forth, just anything that won't be in range of the ring when it's cast. He's got two big units of Spearmen and one big unit of Blackguards. He's got a BSB on foot in the Blackguard unit. He's got a General, as I mentioned, Pendant of Caleth on the cold one, and the big Hydra, of course. And yeah, looks to be, looking at his list, I mean, he didn't really have the shades. He's got an assassin somewhere. He's deployed pretty badly himself. I figured this would be a really easy game for me, but not really. I actually played very badly this game, so we'll look at how it turns out. Next photo, you can see in better detail is General's unit. He's got 5 cold ones with the cold ones painted red, and the General's in between there with the big sword. And he's deployed them in front of the forest there. Probably not the best deployment. They're too far out on their own. I've got line of sight to them with bolt throwers at this stage, but he won the first turn. So looking at the next photo, here's his movement, just fanning out with everything moving across one big line. He actually shot his bolt thrower at my bolt thrower and killed it first turn by wiping out the crew. So that was annoying stuff for me. He wasn't in range with anything for his spell, so I think it was a bit of a bad design flaw on his list, really, with the whole sort of moving towards your opponent with like very little in the way of shooting. Well, I mean, he's got the Dark Riders which shoot well, but that's it, and the one bolt thrower. And his mages are very ineffective this game because the most of the action will be outside of 24 inches. Next photo, what happens here is that I respond by flying the eagle over in front of the Hydra. The reason why is that I want the Hydra to charge me, and I want to flee away over the hedge, or just hold and get charged and pursued over the hedge. That puts the Hydra out of action for 2 to 3 turns at least, and deals with that major headache while I wipe out the rest of his army, or at least I plan to. The other eagle has flown over to, number 1, march block his guys, and number 2, threaten to charge the bolt thrower crew with the characters in it. So potentially, if the eagle's very lucky, I could actually get a whole lot of points out of that hill deployment. The next picture shows what happens a turn or two later. The Hydra has managed to make its way around through the forest after wiping out the eagle. The other eagle had charged the bolt thrower crew and bounced off it and been destroyed. The Dark Riders have rushed around the flank, killing a lot of my archers, And here's the bad deployment from the Dragon Princes. My characters have joined the unit there, and I've got nowhere to run at the stage. I've been isolated from the rest of my army, so bad deployment. I've been forced really to make a charge move in my turn against one of these 3 units, and what I ended up deciding on doing was charging his big unit of spearmen, which he'd put forward a bit. He fled, and my charge made it through to the Blackguard, hitting the Blackguard and forming a new combat, and of course getting flanked by the spearmen. In the meantime, I charged and shot magic at, or at least not magic, so bolt thrower shots at his cold ones, general's cold ones, but I hadn't managed to kill off too many, only 2 guys so far. And of course, Ring of Hotek dominating the center of the field, not able to really assist my troops very much at all. Next picture shows you what's sort of going on now. I charged the Dragon Prince unit at his general's unit, and I got defeated in combat, ran away. He didn't make it out. The chariot charged the unit and still didn't really manage to get enough kills there, so just not getting the job done against the general. White lines were moving forward, but again, white lines just deployed too far away. They were hiding the characters. The characters went back to the archers, or the archmage is in the white lines at the moment. What I really should have done is just marched the white lines forward first, taken the brunt of the charges. They're stubborn, they would have held around for ages, they've got always strikes first, and then mop up the remains with the Dragon Princes. That would have been a much better strategy. He only had 1 bolt thrower, so it wasn't likely he was going to shoot all the way over at the archers with the mages on it and wipe me out there, so that would have been a much safer way to play, but now I'm stuck in an awkward situation. His assassin was in the Blackguard unit, and they popped out, and I've been charged in the flank with a spearman. Next photo shows you the Hydra crushing this last archer remnant here. I've managed to do a couple of wounds on the Hydra, but not enough to get it on half points. And sweeping around the flank here with this guy's doing a lot of damage, so that's very annoying stuff. Now, before I go to the next photo, we're going to have a look at this lovely Hydra while I explain what happened, because I've failed to take the crucial couple of pictures which explain what happened in the main combat in the middle of the game. In the center, there's a whole unit of Dragon Princes, 2 characters, BSB and a Noble, against his Blackguard with his Dark Elf Noble on foot, Dark Elf Master rather, BSB, an Assassin being flank charged by the guys, and what it came down to is me killing off systematically with challenges, because my Noble has a 1+ rerollable armor save and a 5+ ward, killed his Assassin, killed his Noble in the end. I eventually, because I tricked him into challenging me on the flank, my Noble slided across to the side, preventing his spearmen from attacking. And after I'd killed his characters, I managed to finally wipe out the Blackguard with 1 Dragon Prince left, and because he wasn't stubborn anymore, he lost his BSB, I think, and he broke, and I managed to run down his Blackguard, get all the points for that, and his spearman ran away as well. But one thing I'd like to note is that in this tournament, if you registered and paid for the tournament entry fee early, they gave you this little token which you could use to re-roll one of your dice in one single game per tournament, and I used it in this game, in that combat, to save an armor save on the final Dragon Prince holding the standard, to keep that unit alive, to give me the victory points and allow me to strike back and kill the last of his Blackguard eventually. So I think that was a well-used little re-roll there, and it managed to get me into this position here that you'll see in the next photo. White Lions running around in the middle, capturing a table quarter. Dragon Princes running down the Blackguard and eventually charging the bolt thrower crew with 2 mages, netting me a bundle of points. Hydra moving around, but only really taking out an arch unit and eventually this bolt thrower. So not a very successful Hydra. His general has been very successful, wiping out Dragon Princes and chariots, but I've conserved half of the other Dragon Prince unit, as you can see over there in the middle of the field. Got both mages left alive, having joined the archer unit. Ring of Hotek's gone, can let loose with a few magic missiles. And if we go to the next photo, you can see valiantly charging up the hill, victorious, covered in Dark Elf blood, running up the hill to kill these 2 mages. The next photo will show you my Archmage. This is turn 6, and I had the second turn, so she can move over in front of the face of the Dark Elf General and basically stick your tongue out, use the Ring of Fury, blast him with spells. Didn't really kill anything, but he can't charge me because there's no turn left to do that in. Final photo of the game, charging up the hill. Love this photo, and just basically gutting both Dark Elf mages in the face. How do you like that? BSB died, by the way, I think, being shot by these bolt throwers in the magic, but these 2 survived and went through to wipe out the rest, and it turned out to be a minor victory for me in the end, after what looked like a very, very certain defeat due to some very bad play and very bad deployment. So I'm very glad that I didn't go into the tournament with 2 stinging defeats in a row. I managed to turn it around and play well enough in the end of the game, or at least roll dice well enough. And hopefully I'll clear up my act for game 3. So stick around, guys.